What are we going to call the series? I was thinking... Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening, good morning.
Good afternoon.
My name is Dylan.
My name is Dylan Winters.
Basically, the goal with this series is we want to kind of, catch some of the albums that might slip under the radar a little bit. And the first album we're going to be talking about is New Last Name by Courting, this lovely album here. That is a sword. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to give every song a letter from A to F. A stands for a really good song, man.
B stands for brazy.
C stands for cool.
Ooh.
In big letters all across the screen.
D stands for
Dylan Winters.
D stands for don't like.
So that's kind of like,
Don't like. It's alright. Yeah, alright. I've had better in the school cafeteria.
E is for evil.
F is for fucking goddamn it, fuck.
And of course, guys, remember that everything we say is factual. I want to
Yeah.
indoctrinate you into our viewpoints, and whatever you think, you need to be thinking what we think by the end of the video.
What did he say?
What the fuck does that mean? I've searched far and wide, the far corners of the earth, to find anyone who knows what the fuck that means. The only definition for it I could find is when you... And obviously, none of you guys are going to be able to hear what I just said.
Yeah.
Um,
You can imagine.
You can imagine. It looks a little bit like it.
If you want to like maybe 5 tracks in, be like, drop a line like that, sure, okay, it might go under people's noses.
Go ahead.
But that is the opening line of this entire fucking album.
You have thumbing a softie, but on the very same track, you have one of my favourite lines. If someone's God really made you look that pretty, I would throw my back out praying. And I think that's a very good lyric. Courting never really have a boring or dull moment on this album, which is one thing I really praise. Every time I listen to it, I'm kind of tuning into a different thing, and I know that's what you're meant to do when you listen to music.
Yeah,
but
you've got a very cohesive production going on. It's like there's not really a wasted bar.
there's a cool thing that happens in this song where it goes, we throw our back out, we throw it back some, throw back sometime. I love learning about syllables. The cocomelonification of Chloe. One thing that we can't not talk about.
The old tune is fucking, it's there.
It's the 100 gexification of modern music. I feel like people have such a negative implication of autotune because you use autotune when you can't sing.
Most people kind of use it correctively, where you really have bands like Courting where they're using it creatively.
The vocals feel a lot more like a distorted instrument.
Yeah,
The
the vocals are just kind of treated as an instrument a lot of the time in this album.
Can I make it so this doesn't go off on a timer? There we go. That should work. I feel like if you can look past it, which I definitely do think you should,
yeah.
there is some very good songwriting and stuff here.
And even as well, you don't even need to look past it. If you just give it a chance, it starts to blend into the album. Like, it starts to kind of feel like it fits.
Track 2 is We Look Good Together, big words.
It's crazy how they set off their album with a really distinct sounding
Guitar
vibe.
indie punk song.
Something really cool, and then they follow that up with literally just a 1975 song.
Yeah, I don't really usually agree with what Anthony Fantano has to say, but when I was watching his review where he put this song as one of the worst tracks of the week, I don't agree with that. This song is so sonically different to every single song in here, and I feel like that's something that we're probably going to talk a lot about. Anthony Fantano's 38 years old.
Fucking 30! Where did you get that hair from?
Come for me.
Maybe it had like 6 or 7 tracks that really worked together, and then 2 or 3 that really didn't, and they were sort of just like, oh, we'll just sort of put it on. And it's like, when you're doing an album that, spoiler alert, is technically a concept album, you can't do that. Like, that's not how it works.
If this was released as like a random single,
Yeah, it'd be fine. It would definitely get slated for sounding like 1975, but it doesn't make it a bad song just because it sounds like another band. You've sort of threw away a lot of the stuff that you've just set up in the first track. It's just a little odd.
just that it doesn't fit, but it's still a good song.
Yeah, good song, just not for New Last Name.
This is what I'd show my 1975 friends.
If they didn't like Matty Healy. Everyone's like, oh, I would listen to 1975. I hate Matty Healy. It's like, well,
do I have an okay 1975 song for you? Track 3,
Yeah.
The Hills.
The Hills is like fucking phenomenal.
This
like
is your favourite song.
this is my favorite song on the album.
Well, this is everything that the last song didn't have, is that this song feels like 3 different songs. And it peaks 3 different times.
Yeah,
has
it's got like such an insane progression.
It's just a fucking really brilliant ending to a song. Like,
You've got a very kind of fast little drum loop playing to sort of like really just build up some tension. It's so well done.
I love the acoustic segment as well. It really drops down so
Yeah.
that it can pick up.
A nice little
Quite
quick breather
massively.
before it all kind of kicks in.
It's just a great fucking song.
Me and Flex looking in the index for hot butt sex.
This is Flex. This is the first single they released for the album. I feel there's not many bands that could throw in the lines like a W to be fair and outrageous flex.
I've also just got Reckles mentioned as well. There's the sort of like email section.
Yeah, then you hit the email section.
You get to the email bit of the song.
you get...
You know how every song breaks down and has a wee email bit? A sort of programmed horn segment that comes in, and it's like, it on its own, there's nothing wrong with it, but even like in the context of the song, but just following after the Hills, which just had like a really beautifully done horn segment, it's like, you're sort of just reminded how good it was in the last track, and you're sort of looking over it in this track.
It's pretty entry level. There's not too much weird shit happening here besides the strange lyrics that we've got.
It's a W, to be fair.
An outrageous flex.
My name's Emily and I'm 5.
Emily G.
There's a lot of songs like this, and it feels like this is a sort of perfected one. Like
Yeah.
It's just a step above, I think.
The second song has this guitar part that kind of lasts the whole way through, and this kind of has a similar thing where there is a guitar part that get down, get down, get down. It goes through the whole song, but everything else that's happening alongside it is a lot more interesting than the second song. So a thing that really, I was gonna say a thing that really stroked me.
This thing stroked my shit.
This song was joking my
Hell
shit
nah.
crazy.
Hell nah.
It took me about a month to realise that the title Emily G is based off the line in the song OMG. Like, do you reckon that's chords?
It's the E minor G.
The famous O
That could
chord.
be the.
No.
No, it's not.
You could have done something clever there. When I absolutely, this is going to be the fucking end credit
Yeah,
song
this is-
to a rom-com.
No, this is the 10 Things I Hate About You trailer number 2.
They should make a musical of 10 Things I Hate About You, and they should put the Ned leads.
This summer.
Porn. I'm watching porn.
I'm looking at porn.
Now I love babies. This is another song that sounds a lot like a 1975 song.
This is
like Roadkill if Matt Healy didn't drop the F slur.
Yeah, exactly.
So 1,000 points to Corey.
Quoting 1 million Matty Healy 0.
You have these brass instruments throughout the whole fucking album.
Yeah.
And it's definitely here. You've got the piano, you've got a really like loud guitar part as well.
The horns on this remind me of the hit song The Hills by Courting.
My favourite part of the song is when he comes in with the I've got no thorn stuck in my side. I fucking love that. That's so catchy. That actually
lovely little
made me want to dance around my room.
Yeah.
I, in a million years, never would have thought that
The chord
Courting could have done Roadkill.
Like, yeah.
This is kind of the point where the story of this concept album comes
Concept
into
album
play.
mentioned.
It definitely makes more cohesive sense at the end where you've got babies, the wedding, happy ending in America. The first half kind of feels a little bit more
detached from
this concept album thing.
The concept is shit.
Ding the dong, ding the dong, ding the dong.
I'd go back for that, but it just wouldn't look the same.
Cool.
Moving on to The Wedding.
This is a song that I definitely think should have been a single over We Look Good Together. But then again, I feel like if We Look Good Together wasn't a single and I actually had to listen to that on the album as the second song, I'd be like,
Disappoint you, we were.
Rocky. The Wedding is a very good song. It has another really, really catchy chorus.
It kicks off with just some of the fucking punchiest kick drum you heard in your life, man. That shit hits you in the head and the balls.
Showered in your home, I've worn your shoes. I've seen your room like it's Street View.
That's such a catchy
That's cool.
little bit.
This is how you use like internet millennial things
lingo.
in a song.
Oh, that little catchy chorusy part, like matches what the instrumental's playing. It's like note for note, which is really nice because
Band for band. EQ switch.
There's a
Fuck, that's cool.
There's a cheeky little band pass filter going on.
Unlike you, I am very, very smart.
He also doesn't shut the fuck up about 2009.
What happened in 2009? Obama, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Will Smith, RuPaul's Drag Race. It's just a lot of Barack Obama. Swine flu.
It's not one that we have tons to say about, but it is really cool. We're not like it's not like boring or anything. It's just one that there's not much we can really pick out on.
Yeah,
it just works. I just can't unhear that McDonald's sound.
Happy endings. This song, I have a lot to talk about. Contrary to the really harsh sounding tone of the lead guitar,
We have just a really cool synth going on.
there is a lot of nice noises that are actually
Yeah,
happening.
other than the lead guitar, it's actually pretty cool. There's some like kind of drum loops going on. Yeah, put that some Fortnite Festival and have me go boom.
I still like that song.
Yeah.
I feel like the other songs are just so...
Lead guitar tone in mind. It is cool. And I
Yeah.
think if it was on an album with worse songs, this would be better. But
I
it
feel
just
like
gets out
most of
class.
the other songs on here are pretty fucking good. So
Speaking of songs better than happy endings,
That would be my big fat ass. That shit tastes good. I don't give a damn.
there's a couple times where I've mentioned that there's songs on this album that feel like they could close it. And that could be a problem if the one that actually closed the album didn't feel so definitively like the end. And America, by quoting from their hit album, New Last Name,
it's one of their best written songs.
it's fucking incredible.
Fucking even the strumming of the chords, you can feel each individual string being
yeah.
plucked, and I just love the chorus lyrics aren't that complex, but they're still catchy.
It's simple but effective, and it's really just, it suits the song perfectly.
You've got an 020 number now. You've got a new last name. This is the album fucking song.
There's just that's like a genuine like trap beat on there.
I feel like there's not a lot of bands who could make something like that work just randomly on like the last song of the album.
I know this is like the end of the album. This is one of the major points where I like listened to this and was like, wow, these guys are doing stuff that not everyone can do. They have the line talking about bend over backwards, which I think is sort of like a reference to throwing your back out praying from the first song, which is just another little, this is the last song. It's referencing things that have happened so far, referencing the story that they've built up.
2009.
2009 comes back.
A lot of what I've heard people saying about this album is that it sounds like the 1975, and then on the other fence you've got Black Country New Road, and yeah, I fucking see it. I see it when they do the
Yeah, there's elements, but like this is such a unique sound. Like I've not heard anything like this album.
I don't think there's a lot of bands that are doing anything.
I don't think there's a lot of bands. I don't think there's
like two bands. I think.
Yeah,
the
there's maybe-
1975, Will Smith.
Yeah.
And Black Country New Road.
Yeah.
It's a very long song.
It's long, but it's not too long.
I feel like there's enough happening to keep it interesting.
It's the perfect size.
It is.
Unlike
the
Drake.
perfect size, 3 to 4 inches.
Unlike Drake.
I was trying to get into the Nivella gig at King Tut's last night, and I pulled up my gallery to like show the tickets, and the last thing I had was just a picture of Drake's cock and bollocks. And the last 2 minutes of this song are genuinely like some of my favourite 2 minutes in song.
I think
ever.
I think this song is better than Actual America.
That would not be hard. Now everyone knows that 2 minutes is all you need to do something great.
Sometimes even a minute 30.
Well, I'm gonna ask you again. Did you eat a tree for right here?
Now we're going to move on to our final review of the album. We're going to talk about the things we didn't like so much about the album, get the negatives out of the way before we get to the many, many, many positives. And the first thing that we want to talk about is that second song.
Whether or not it's like fully a concept album or whatever, this is supposed to be an album that has a similar vibe. It's supposed to say it's not a compilation, it's an album. There is some structure and problems and some issues with tone where it's like, are you thumbing a softie or are you throwing your back out praying? The structure in terms of the tracks that actually apply to the album in my head, work really well. But like I said, it's like a 6 or 7 song album with like 2 songs kind of thrown in.
I feel like a lot of that is because of another thing, and that is the tone. You have these really great moments, like America, on the same album as We Look Good Together, and like it feels kind of like
so close to just being like so cohesive and so perfect.
You can tell they're taking themselves a little bit more seriously with this album.
Yeah, it's not like fucking pure satire or anything. It's.
But then you have these
actual
moments that are like.
It's like they forget that sometimes. They've kind of reversed the whole fuck around and find out. Like they
found out.
They have found out, and now they're kind of fucking around. But they're being a bit more. They're getting a little bit weird with it, and they're doing things that you wouldn't expect from them. But they're also treating everything a bit more maturely.
Good things. It's better than their first album. And their first album surprised me quite a bit. The single power on that album was incredible. The 3 singles that released on it were brilliant. I didn't have my hopes up because I was like, oh, these are going to be the 3 best songs. And then when the album came out, I was like, whoa, very, very good album. My favourite of 2022. But I didn't know. I didn't want to get my hopes up way too high for this album either. And then it surprised me again by being even better than the first one. And I was like, whoa, they actually really know what they're doing. And
it's a good spot to be into, because as much as this is better than the first album, it's not like so good that like they can't do better. Like I think their next album will be better than this.
Everything we've said. Line.
Everything we've said in relation to I Bet We Look Good Together and Flex actually kind of goes to a little bit of a benefit here when we're talking about the sonic identity of every song.
Every song sounds super different. There's no 2 songs that kind of sound the same on this album, and I quite like that. And but you can all kind of, for most part, piece them together as being from the same project.
It's cohesive, but it's not boring.
And I do think that the songwriting on this one is so much better. They've kind of built upon everything that they've had before and made it better, and I really like that.
But it didn't come out, so it's 2 out of 10.
Yeah. Where's the physical release? I want the sword!
We're going to throw up what we gave, personally, what we gave each track on our little rating scale. Here's a little reminder of what our rating scale is.
The worst song is still a pretty good song. I wouldn't skip any of the 9 songs. I give it a big
3.
This is completely fucking biased, by the way.
Going into this was my first exposure to this band. I was like not expecting to enjoy it nearly as much as I did, but again, I wouldn't skip any song in this album if I was listening through. Even like We Look Good Together, it's like a good song. I wouldn't skip it. So I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. This album's really solid.
9 out of 10. I combined score because when you add 8 and 10 and divide by 2, you get 9. So it's
averages.
9. Average.
9 out of 10 album.
9, the average length of Drake's penis.
Yeah.
If you want to check out more of our stuff, we don't have any. We will be posting stuff here regularly. We have a couple albums that we're going to do. The next album we're going to be doing is Pools of Colour by Juno Dream. So get listening to that.
Listen to
if
that.
You want. If that's your homework,
Please.
do that for the next one.
Thanks for sitting with us, and thanks for enjoying this field.
Fuck off!
How long's it been a field for?
My name is Dylan Winters, and you're going to be seeing a lot from me from now on. Unlike you, I am very, very smart.